The harvest is definitely in. I've been picking a lot of tomatoes, as you can see. Some nice tomatoes that we're getting, and there's a bucket of it. I'm trying to pick them before I can them. Last night I did another 6 quarts of the tomatoes, and I'll tell you, I truly love. They're not the prettiest tomato, not the greatest for making sandwiches, but these, the plum ones, they make the sauce nice and thick, and I like that. I got some nice big ones over here, like little pumpkins, aren't they? Look at that. You say, why am I going to pick it? It ain't quite done. Because I think this was called the mortgage lifter. That was the mortgage lifter. It was talked about a really big tomato. And if I don't pick them, look at them over here. They're huge, like little pumpkins. If I don't pick them, the animals will get them. So I'm going to get them before they get them. They're over there too. Look how big they are. Quite impressed with them. These are good for sandwiches, but they're good for canning also. Happy with them. But the plum tomatoes are the best for making the sauces. You can't beat them. It's not watery. And I'll tell you a trick that I learned is just when you steam your tomatoes to get the skins off, take them in, put them in a strainer and let it sit there for like 5-10 minutes and move it around a little bit. See how it rats. I'm leaving it there so it'll grow nice tomatoes next year, because I buy all heirloom tomato seeds. But anyways, what I was saying is, and that'll help drain the tomatoes, the water from it, so you don't have to simmer it so long. Because sometimes you simmer it so long, it makes the tomatoes really dark red, which is okay, but I like it when they're a bright red, because I gotta cook them later, and I can have, you know, more what I like to do instead of it already being done. And I always do the tomatoes different. They're not all the same, because I use them for different recipes, and so I'm just happy to get the tomatoes. Look at all these tomatoes. I ain't even got a big enough bucket. And I do use the mill, even though you think, oh, it's just as quick to do it by hand. Using the mill, you can put them right hot as soon as you're done boiling them. And I also recommend boiling them a little bit longer. Boil them a little bit longer till they're really nice and soft, because they'll go through the mill better. So if you just try to do it like you were taking the skins off, not so kind of mushy. So that's the bucket of them. I'm happy with it. The garden is loaded. I'm going to have some of my friends come in and pick some too. Or I'll pick them firm, because most of them are elderly ladies. And not that I'm so young, but they're elderly, and I don't want to see them fall. Because I'm telling you, I'm in here like an acrobat. I got to twist, and I got to move around. That one's rotted. I take them off the vine. Oh, yeah. I take them off the vine so they don't take the nutritions from the other ones. I just broke them. That. And I always plant more than I need. It's always nice to share your friends. And nature, you're going to share the animals, if you like it or not. So plant more than you need, and use heirloom seeds, and keep it in a designated area. So this way, if you get sick, or you had to leave at the time the planting starts and you couldn't do your seeds, because some of these, the ones in the back over there are mostly from nature. The ones in the front here, except for some of them got mixed in. I put them in here, and they were planted from seeds. But I love the heirloom seeds because you get extra tomato plants. So I screwed up and pulled it too fast. And I'm quite happy with the garden. I'm thanking Jehovah every time I go in here. I'm Now I just need extra time to pick the tomatoes and to simmer them. But I say, you know what? If I get extra, look at the bugs. You can't be scared of bugs and have a garden and have a farm. I'll tell you that, because I'm dealing with bugs all the time, and I got bit yesterday. But I don't know what it was, a spider or a... Look at all these I just picked. Aren't they the prettiest things? I think they're just the prettiest. Look at all these tomatoes. So big, they're like little pumpkins down there. I don't know if you realize how big they are. Look at my hand, the size of my hand. These are the mortgage letters. And I'm going to grab them. Look at, I'm going to grab them before the animal gets them. You see them all, they ate down there? So I just picked a bunch of them. And I got a second bucket in here. This is what I'm doing. So I'm going to pick these up. And that's what I'm doing now. And then tonight, I'm still actually working, and while I'm waiting for something, I jumped in the garden before it gets dark. Where's that other bucket? Oh, it's over here. I don't see how you squish them sometimes. You see all the... I don't recommend these tomatoes. I wasn't happy with them. I planted them for my Alfred. So that's them. And I love the plum. They're not the prettiest tomatoes, but I'll tell you what, I'm quite happy with the plum, how nice they make your sauce. Pick these ones up. I'm totally blessed with all these tomatoes, and I've been blessed enough that I know God wants someone else to have good tomatoes, because He had my cup overfilling, and that takes a lot for a person to say, right? Your cup's overfilling. So you know somebody needs these tomatoes. I don't know quite who, but we'll see. It'll come. So I'm going to invite a few people to have some tomatoes into my yard. And if they're not able to pick some of the older ones, like I said, I'll pick a farm. Look, this is only, I can't count the tomatoes, but it filled a bucket. That's how big they are. You ain't going to miss them. And I'm not worried that the animal got that tomato. You know why? I told you. That'll be next year's seeds. I recommend don't pick no small heritage seeds for your garden that you're going to plant every year, because they seem to overtake the garden more than the big plants. You figure there's probably more of those. So that's it. I'm not going to make too long of a video. Next I'll be picking apples. There's a woman that lets me pick apples in her yard, and I give her tomatoes and milk. Not tomatoes. I give her eggs and milk. And she's a really rich, fancy lady. But she's nice, and she let me pick, and I'm talking real fancy house. So hopefully God, she'll still let me pick the apples in her yard again this year. And I'll make a video of that. See how that's a bad tomato? I'm not worried about it, but what I will do is pull it off the vine, so it ain't taking the nutritions from the other. I got pink brandywine tomatoes in here, and I had purple tomatoes too. Look how fast I picked up these buckets. Didn't take me long at all, but if I waited till after work, it would have been dark. I'd have to move my stuff off my property, some of my equipment. So that's what I'm working on today. Yep. So I only got a choice of what I'm going to pick, because I got a short time and I only got a little bit in the bucket. And these are the ones I'm going to pick because I like how thick they make the sauce. Alright, that's it. So have a good day.